Hi guys, Jen here with Astrology and Earth Magic. So today I wanted to do a little bit of talking about some upcoming big retrogrades that we have coming on this month in November, and they're just going to start in the next couple days. So I'm going to put it all out there with this video. It's going to, be a regular length video, but if you want to catch the shorts, I'm going to put those out for each one as well. So definitely tune in and get those. You want to hit the notification bell so that you'll get notified of when the shorts come out. And if you don't want to sit and listen to a whole thing, you can watch those. So these retrogrades are coming along right after that Mars and Uranus opposition that we just had. So I'm seeing that, it's a complete restructuring and groundwork being laid for a new building towards the future. So we saw the election. Of course, there were controversial nominees. There always are lately. That was on the 4th, the day of the Mars and Uranus opposition. So, and I was actually hours too before the full moon in Taurus. I was really hoping nothing would happen. It seemed like it was pretty calm and everything went smoothly. So that's good news. So as far as the results, are we getting a glimpse of what we're building towards in the future? Is this, what groundwork is going to be being laid? So it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. Mercury began its pre-shadow period now on October 21st. So, and that was at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So that's the pre-shadow. So the same day as it started its pre-shadow was that new moon in Libra. So we're kind of working towards finding some balance, and we might need to regroup and go back with that retrograde. So at 20 degrees Scorpio is where it's going to retrograde back to. So stationing on the 9th, so which is, I think it's Monday, but it's on the 9th of November, whatever day that is, and it will be retrograde until the 29th. So pretty much this whole month, we just have to deal with Mercury being retrograde, which is great. Holiday season, always look forward to that. And so it's going to begin its retrograde at 6 degrees of Sag, go back to that 20 degrees of Scorpio point. And then it's going to post shadow until December 16th as it moves back from that 20 degrees of Scorpio back to the 6 degrees of Sag. So, if you want to really pull up your chart and see what you have in those degrees, it's going to be going back and forth over there 3 times now. So raking back and forth. So they're, on those degrees in that part of your life, in that house, you could be expecting maybe some miscommunications and just the regular, Mercury retrograde kind of stuff that comes along with it. So definitely check your chart out. And if you want, send me a message. I'll pull it up for you. I'll tell you where it's happening on your chart if you have your sun, your birth time, place, and date. And so you have to have the time. So that makes a big difference. So Jupiter is in Cancer. So that's going to be our other retrograde. So we have Mercury first and then Jupiter. And, when it's in Cancer, it's happy, it's, carefree, and it can feel like it's on top of the world. And it feels like this just overpowering, wanting to take care and spread the love. It's that good feeling, and it wants to spread it out everywhere. So just kind of that, giving everybody a warm giant hug, like Jupiter, just, because it's in Cancer. So Jupiter will station on the 11th. So that's 2 days after the Mercury station. So, and that will be at 25 degrees of Cancer. So kind of getting towards the end, moving back to about midpoint, 15 degrees Cancer. And that will be really through March of 2026. So, and I've said on previous videos about that Jupiter in Cancer, it is like that warm hug. It is that kind of coming together and spreading the love, usually after something kind of tragic happens. Definitely check out those past videos on it. A lot of information. I can link them at the end as well. So at this time, you want to check the area and the house of your life that this falls in. So again, you want to get your chart up and know, where these are going to be falling. So where it's going to kind of be, drilling down on you a little bit. And this is where you want to take that time to reflect on this part of your life. If it is in your 4th house of your house and home, if it's in your 7th house, your relationships and that type of thing. This could be a spiritual reflection, and it's a change or even a reconnection with your faith. So the stationing days will be particularly intense because the planets are just there kind of sitting still, drilling down on that degree. That's going to be around the 10th, right in between when they're both kind of grinding in on their degrees. Mercury will be at 2 degrees, 2 conjunction with Mars, and the moon will be conjunct Jupiter. So the moon is, with Jupiter in a nice place. We need to just rethink, reimagine, and perhaps how can we fulfill our needs? What do we really need? Always kind of go back to that, because you might think something seems so important to you, seems so necessary to you, even a person, place, thing, whatever, but maybe it isn't. And maybe our needs are changing and we have to look into that. Mercury themes of a retrograde Mercury can range from issues with electronics, of course, we've all heard that. Also travel and communication. Those, I think, are the 2 biggies that are going to be impacted with these 2 retrogrades, especially with the 2 of them coming right at the same time. Difficult, you could have difficulty getting your point across, maybe misunderstandings because of it, and that could be, in various ways. With Mercury in Sag, I would expect, though, that there will be issues around travel mainly, and especially impacting during the holiday season. I think we're already seeing kind of sneak peeks of that, and we're seeing that during the pre-shadow. So whatever sneak peeks we get to see that things starting to happen is going to be kind of how it's going to work out during that retrograde. So expect your Thanksgiving travel to maybe be, impacted. So Jupiter again is in Cancer. Jupiter can represent also long distance travel. So if you're flying, so maybe, and of course Cancer is your family. So if you're flying to go see, your family, going back home for the holidays, many of us do travel those longer distances if we don't live close to home. So with Jupiter also as the ruler of Sagittarius, where Mercury is retrograde, kind of ties it all together, that, it exacerbates things like Jupiter likes to do sometimes, sometimes good, sometimes bad. So if you do plan on traveling, and if you do have those plans, you want to definitely try to be proactive, to just make sure everything is good and set in stone. If you're flying, I would check your flights. Flights have been changing, flight numbers have been changing. I used to be in the travel industry, and after COVID, flight numbers change all the time. Flight times change all the time. And sometimes you might not even notice if you don't check your email every day or whatever, but you want to really be cognizant of that might and most likely will happen. You want to be prepared and expect the worst to be ready for whatever can happen. So maybe nothing will happen, but if you are prepared, you'll know how to deal with it. So currently we're in the middle also, just to throw a little, bit on that fire, we are in the middle of a government shutdown. So this is what I mean by we're seeing a little sneak peek of this, as the Mercury's going in its pre-shadow period, we're seeing a sneak peek of what's to come. Okay, so we have this government shutdown. This could affect the, paying our air traffic control people, just adding another layer to what I think that perfect storm of travel headaches is going to bring. So again, be prepared when flying. Have your itineraries, your passports or whatever you need, that star on your license, make sure you have all of it. If you're traveling by car, Mercury, and that's kind of like a 3rd house type, that's, closer travel and vehicles, that type of thing, I would definitely have bring your car in to maybe get the oil changed, have an all points check, I would say, have the fluids all filled. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer again is water. So we have Cancer, that's that water sign. So we have water liquids. So definitely check all your fluids, get your oil changed, make sure you're doing good and nothing's going on. Saturn and Pisces, though, along with Neptune, also both going to be retrograde. They're in that, liquidy Pisces. So that issues again come up with liquids, with gas, oil, and other fluids. Gas prices right now, they seem low, but I have noticed in the past, week or so, they're starting to creep up a little bit. So we want to be cognizant of that. So, they always like to raise the prices of gas around the holidays. They know so many people are going to be traveling. So, we want to be ready for that and, budget accordingly. Also the weather. So you want to keep an eye on the weather. Storms can really hamper travel. If there's a shocking, surprising snowstorm. We've had that happen here in New England, early snowstorms that can really, kind of impact having, people. It can make the roads hazardous, and you just want to be safe and cognizant of all that. You want to keep all that in mind when traveling because, just in case this Jupiter and Mercury want to play, little pranks on us. That Mercury, that's that little trickster, might be like, oh, I'm going to switch this flight up. I'm going to do this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I also wanted to take a look at the United States chart. So like I said, this is all kind of happening as we just had some elections happening. Plus there's just been a ton of shit going on here in the United States. So, and just to see mundanely, so on a collective scale, the impacts it could have. So, I usually use the US Sibley chart, and I have it in Placidus. So if you want to run that, look that chart up. I think it's nation number 1 if you're on astro.com. But I put mine in Placidus. You can use whatever you want. It's going to change the house a little bit. But Mercury will be for the United States in its 12th house. So that can show hidden enemies. It can show secrets and self-undoing. Interesting. Things coming out of hiding, maybe re-emerging. We're pulling things out from where it kind of went below. Secrets, information that you might have thought was dead, or that somebody else, those higher ups in government might have thought was dead. 12th house also can mean the government themselves, I can't think of the name for it. Anyway, just servants, public servants. So things coming out about that could be something. So it can also represent institutions as well. So jails, hospitals, that type of thing. It can also be invisible enemies as far as enemies within, hidden away, like homegrown terrorists, even resurgence of an epidemic, because we do have a lot of water signs here also, or a lot of that are, playing huge roles in all of this. Could be widespread rulings on even deportations, travel, sending someone back. That's retrogrades. So traveling, sending people back. So it would make sense to that things start coming out with rulings and stuff, maybe blocks that are getting put up, or maybe blocks are being pulled down. Jupiter is in the 8th house of the United States chart. So 8th house themes overall, we know both of these are negative houses. Overall, those themes can be fear and anxiety. We've felt a lot of that as of late. And Jupiter's been in there for a while. So also, it's fear mongering. So it's people kind of spreading fear, which might not even be something, like saying, oh, if this person gets elected, it's going to be awful. And this one's a fascist, and this one's a communist, and this one's that. And just kind of just making huge deals out of one person. Like, is one person really going to make? Maybe you will. I don't know. We'll see. But it's kind of blowing it up. So that's that Jupiter's doing. It's blowing up this fear that we have, and the anxieties that we have. Also, it can represent the national debt, frozen assets, government shutdown, frozen assets, makes a lot of sense. Foreign relations also, and trade. So we've been hearing some things about kind of that the tariffs might have to be re-looked at. I just actually heard something on the news that they went about putting the tariffs through in a illegal way, and they might have to pull them back. And does that mean we have to pay back the tariffs that we got? So retrogrades and money and that could be, in those foreign relations, in that trade, we could see maybe payback or reinstitution of them. So again, we'll have to see how that plays out. So we see, again, those current frozen assets in government with the government shutdown. And we saw the SNAP program that is going to be losing funds. It could be, especially with Uranus moving back in Taurus, and that's going to be on the 8th. So right before this all kind of starts. Expect financial reforms. Uranus back in Taurus is kind of, okay, we need to relook at this. Taurus is money, so restructuring money, restructuring the way that money's been dealt with. So I think a lot is going to come out with the tariffs, maybe, especially with the new ruling that maybe they weren't put through quite right. So, sorry, it's really cold out here. My mouth is starting to get a little bit frozen. My hands are like ice. Anyway. So I would expect that. So, and at Thanksgiving, Mercury will have at that time gone back into Scorpio. So moving pretty quickly back. It's going to hit Scorpio back at the 19th, actually. And this is along with Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn, Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Everybody now is going retrograde in water signs. So again, more emphasis on water and fluids and things like that. So Saturn and Neptune is in the United States 3rd house. So again, another layer where travel can be impacted here, and could be storm related, or again, gas prices. So, or something to do with fluids, so could impact our travel, and just add that layer to our travel. And the days all really surrounding Thanksgiving, it looks like this is going to kind of be just hammering in a little bit. So again, like I said, be proactive. You want to double check itineraries, double check flights, double check that you have everything on your license that you need to have. So you have to have that star thing now. Make sure you have that. Make sure you have everything that you need so you can travel safely. And smartly, really. So also, you want to, checking your vehicle health, and your personal health as well. So 'tis the season to be spreading illnesses. So as we're all getting together, we're all hugging and talking, and it does tendency to, sicknesses get spread, because, I have a little cold, but I'm still going to go to Thanksgiving because I haven't seen everyone in so long. And, you can spread different things around. So we're moving back into that conjunction with, we have Saturn and Neptune really close. Now, last time it was in January of 2020, which brought the epidemic. So we don't want to have any resurgence of that. So again, you want to be safe. I'm not saying mask up. I'm just saying, if you don't feel good, maybe kind of stay away from people a little bit, hear about them saliva droplets and all that grossness. Spreading a new epidemic would just be awful. Again, saliva, liquids, everything has to do with the liquids, So on a side note, I just wanted to add, so this is, again, wrapping all that up. Be careful around the holiday with travel. Travel is going to be big. We're also going to see some things happening in the government, I think, that has to do with the shutdown and with the tariffs, that have to do with kind of restructuring how things are going to, how tariffs are going to be, taxes, and restructuring everything, especially because of the shutdown, and how we're going to pay for these, these food programs for people that are really in need, that are going to be losing money. So be safe, be proactive, take care of your car, take care of your health, and have a great holiday. Again, on a side note, I just wanted to add. So just wanted to put this out here for this, because it was just kind of something that popped into my head, and I was like, oh my God. So currently, again, Uranus is retrograde, and it will have moved back into Taurus by the 8th, and that's Saturday. So Sunday's the 9th, and that's when Mercury, so I said Monday, so it's actually Sunday. Anyway, I was talking to my husband about everything that's going on. I like to tell him, and even though he doesn't understand a lot of what I'm saying, I still do. And so we got talking about that, and how it's about rebuilding, restructuring, and that type of thing, and something's going kind of back to the drawing board, something new, something innovative, with Mercury retrograde and Jupiter, which could be, again, rethinking, reimagining travel. So I found that interesting. Okay, so we're going back to the drawing board, or getting a new innovation coming out, like something that they've been working on that could have to do with reimagining travel. So my husband said, that's funny, because Elon Musk was hinting at a new big announcement. I guess it was on the Joe Rogan show or something, and he was talking about a big announcement that he might be having. Didn't say what it was, but something that he's been working on. And with Saturn going direct on the 27th, that groundwork, that foundation, that's what is going to start being built. Saturn is that builder, that foundation builder. That's the one that gets things started and gets like the groundwork going to build upon. Saturn moving closer to that conjunction with Neptune, that's going to be exact on February of 2026. What could it mean? Well, hopefully it doesn't mean another stupid pandemic. But Saturn building, Neptune dissolving boundaries, and with these retrogrades, all this kind of happening with these retrogrades, both happening in travel, rethinking, and Jupiter will still be kind of in its retrograde, kind of rebuilding. So could we possibly have an announcement that Tesla is building a flying car? There's no boundaries. That's dissolving boundaries. You're not bound to the road. You can just fly. So that would be really in this, when you think about Pluto now in Aquarius, and that is that innovations that could transform the world. Well, I think, and create a whole new way of travel. I think that a flying car would probably change the world and create a whole new way of travel. So just something that came to my mind. I said, what? I'm going to put this out there just because I just have to. So stay tuned, folks, because I think some really interesting things are going to be coming up. So please like and subscribe. If you like this video, please let me know why. If you didn't like it, let me know why too. Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think is coming up? What do you think about a flying car? Who knows? Would you drive one? I'd be a little nervous, but hell, why not? So leave comments. Love to read your comments. Again, if you need, leave your birth date, time, and place, and I can get you where these are going to fall in your chart, just to give you a little heads up, maybe a little bit of a background, and, really just, getting notified to my little shorts that are going to be coming up, just hitting the notification bell. Got lots of stuff coming up. Love growing with you guys. I so appreciate you guys coming back to watch my videos week after week. And, I hope we can continue that. And I hope our communication stays rolling, even though Mercury's going to be in retrograde. So again, a lot of little reminders that we're going to be in these retrogrades. So look for those little shorts coming out, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.